So, Richard Sherman signed to Amazon. I had nothing else on Jaquiski Tardy. He's like a solid player, but like
That's
I can't
literally all
talk
I
about him
had.
for more than 2 minutes.
I even debated putting him in the notes document to begin with.
I was surprised to put Kari Willis in. I was like,
That was when we had no news whatsoever. That was
yeah.
like the first thing. But we got him a little shine,
All right, so yeah, Richard Sherman signed with Amazon to be the pregame, postgame, and halftime alongside oh my god, wait, who's it alongside? Tony Gonzalez?
I don't even know.
I think it is.
I,
Let
I
me look
I'm
it up.
gonna figure out all these broadcast teams like in week 7. That's when I'll get used to it
Yeah,
because
Tony
everything
Gonzalez.
is
So that's honestly really cool. I've especially I mean, Rich Sherman, we all know, is a very smart guy. He went to Stanford. He's always been outspoken and usually intelligently spoken, except for like when he was like going off on Michael Crabtree, because that was just like him, game day, like playoff game. Was that a playoff game, right?
yeah. That was
Yeah,
the
it was the
NFC
NFC
Championship.
Championship game. Yeah, okay, just making sure. Sorry, that was a brick
So
moment
young.
for me. No, I know that though. I knew that. I just whatever.
I feel like you forgot that in another episode of this podcast when we were doing the best wide receiver cornerback matchups. You completely left off Richard Sherman, Michael Crabtree
No, because
because you
remember I
completely
made that
forgot.
video on my channel. That video did terrible, by the way. But for a reason, I completely forgot the best ones. So we were talking about that, and I forgot to put it in that video, and that was one of the main reasons I wanted to do it. There was another one I wanted to do. I wanted to do Calvin Johnson, Brent Grimes, but I forgot to do that. I should have done. I mean, no, I probably shouldn't have done it because I didn't watch it. But Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan. I just watched a video on that recently, actually.
Hmm. The
Um,
beef history.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think I'm subscribed to him. He just comes up in my recommended a lot. He's good. I should subscribe to him though. He's a good YouTuber. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I think Rich Sherman's gonna be very entertaining. Honestly, I've always loved the way he speaks. I think, like I said, he's a very smart guy. He's a very smart football guy too.
Hmm.
Like I think he has so much to offer to the, like, television world for the NFL.
Yeah, I
I could see him
kind of
doing
knew.
shows like I mean,
Mm,
like a first take. You know what I'm saying?
right.
He's a
I mean,
podcast, right?
yeah, he has a PFF podcast actually.
Oh, really?
Uh, but yeah, we knew basically from like 2012 when he first burst on the scene, he's gonna get into commentating one day,
Yeah.
just with how he was. I remember he went on First Take way back. I think it was
Yep.
2012, and he completely roasted Skip Bayless, and like not in like a angry player like he did it efficiently. Like
Yeah, I remember
he
that.
tore him up,
That was
and
great. That was one of the top moments of like Skip Bayless. He sucks.
and
Now Colin
but
Cowherd's worse, but
don't even get me started on him. Anyways, but Richard Sherman, we know he's joining Amazon, but he's not officially retired. My question is he going to last longer than Jay Cutler did as a Fox analyst? Remember, Fox signed Jay Cutler as their number one uh, analyst, and then Ryan Tannehill got hurt. So even before the season began, Jay Cutler went and became the Dolphins' starting quarterback, and then he never went back
that
to.
year was so much pain. Oh my god. That was awful.
Remember, he did beat the Patriots.
Oh. That was probably no, I don't we probably won the Super Bowl that year.
That was the year you lost to the Eagles.
God damn it. That one hurt so bad.
Listen, as a Steelers fan, that was their year. Jesse James caught the ball,
No.
and Miles Jack was not down.
So Richard Sherman,
Yeah, we ran a poll on our Twitter account. It actually got some decent traction. I felt like it was sort of relevant. 'Cause
I'm
I
gonna
knew we
pull
were
it up
talking
because I want to
about
look at the
Richard Sherman.
replies and all that while we speak on it.
We got 34 votes, and it was who is the best cornerback of the 2000s? And the options were Darrell Revis, Richard Sherman, Champ Bailey, and Charles Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
Champ Bailey and Richard Sherman tied for last place. They got 8.8% of the vote. Charles Woodson got 14.7%. And Darrell Revis ran away with it. He got
I voted for Darrell as well.
67.6%. We had a couple replies. Hey, 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 hey. Who we had a little bullying of co-host guy on Twitter last week. Uh, he went Darrelle Revis. He said they were all great, but they only one of them had an island. Solid argument. Clonecast threw out Waswa Sirwanga.
I don't know who that is. Is that a real person?
Yeah, it's such an obscure pool. Like, I was proud of him. Like, I probably wouldn't even had a pool that good. He played like maybe 10 games with the Vikings, like in 2000, 2001. Like, I was like,
really?
Like, he's a Vikings fan, so he probably, it's one of those. But like, I'm proud of you, Tom.
And I replied to him. I was joking. I said Namadi Asamoah, but I could not spell it to save my life because that is a horrible name to spell.
He spelled Nmadoue
space
Asgonma. Namadu Asgonma.
Listen, you can't lie. That name is impossible.
It's a difficult. I mean, I've learned it by heart, but like, that's especially bad co-host guy. We also had Sam Teets. He replied. I think he had the best reply. This is basically my entire thought process, so I didn't really have anything to add. He said it depends on how you define best. Revis had the highest peak. His 2009 season was maybe the best cornerback season of all time. Charles Woodson peaked for the longest because he played for a long time and he was really good for a while. And he's also the most accomplished. Champ Bailey's resume is a mix of those previous two. Yeah, I see that. And then Richard Sherman had the greatest impact on a Super Bowl winning team. Should have been two. We all know how that game went. It's in our intro. But yeah, there was a real...
need to point that out. You used the wrong audio clip. You have to do and it's intercepted by Malcolm Butler at the goal line. But you used the other one, and it's like, it's not as cool. Keep going.
If you can find it, because I searched for at least an hour.
It's not like a public thing on YouTube?
Listen, that was the best one I could find.
It's fine.
I could find the NBC broadcast version. This was really one of the only Patriots radio broadcast versions I could find. If you can find it, we will edit.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's not. It has to be perfect. But yeah, I agree with Sam. I didn't even know. I didn't even vote on this.
Oh.
I didn't even vote on this one because I'm like, do I go peak? Do I go longevity? Do I go accomplishments? Do I go Super Bowl? Like, I've gone back and forth on the Sherman and Revis debate for a while. It was a thing. Obviously, Revis had the higher peak. We all know the man zone argument, which I feel is a little overplayed, but I feel like Richard Sherman is probably the most underrated of this bunch because a lot of people disliked how much he talked. They disliked those Seahawks teams, and they really hammered home on the zone argument.
Oh, I definitely didn't like those Seahawks teams. What's weird is my roommate, like how I like the Dolphins, he likes the Seahawks.
I like the Dolphins are one of your second favorite team. The Seahawks are that for me for a while. So
really,
I had
should I
Russell
say
Wilson,
ex-roommate? He's moving out with his girlfriend.
Too much. I don't know if we needed all that. Don't start crying for that. But yeah, I had Russell Wilson jersey, Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, Cam Chancellor.
There's a big difference between me and you. I'm not a jersey guy. You will almost never catch me wearing a jersey, except for like my roommates have like a bunch of like DH Gate jerseys. Like, sometimes I'll wear them. But, like, in football jersey, you will never catch me wearing. I wore my LeGarrette Blount jersey once in 8th grade, and I don't think I wore it again. LeGarrette Blount was a dog. Like, those things where it's like, would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or $50 million? Mine's, would you rather have dinner with LeGarrette Blount or $10 million? I would have the dinner with LeGarrette Blount. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways. I just wanted to talk about Richard Sherman a little bit, so if you wanted to go black, you can if you will.
Oh, okay, yep. You got it, man.
I think
this is going to be this. I'm saying I'm going to do this every time you have like a 1 minute plus stat thing. Just give me a warning. I'm doing this just to give you your full spotlight.
All right. It's my show. This is the Mike Kennedy NFL YouTube page. I think Richard Sherman will play again, but this is probably the end of his high-end play, so I think it's right to do a retrospective on the career of this first ballot Hall of Famer, which, yes, I think he will be and should be. Um, he was good from the very moment he stepped on the field. We all know when he broke out in 2012 with that Tom Brady game, when he posted the "You Mad" meme, "You Mad, bro." But in 2011, which was the Tavares Jackson year when the Seahawks went 7-9, he was PFF's seventh highest graded cornerback even that year. That's really when the Legion of Boom really came into focus. That's when they also signed Brandon Browner. Um, but from 2012,
Dog. Brandon Browner.
he's done some heinous things though. So
Has he? I honestly didn't know.
yeah, you can look it up on your own time
Gotcha,
or
I
while
will.
you're blacked out. But in 2012, Sherman was PFF's best corner. He had a 92.3 grade. He was first again in 2013, and he was third in 2014. He fell all the way to fifth place in
Wait,
2015.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm turning the camera back on before I. Yo, why did I not know this?
I figured a reaction like this was coming.
He, 8 years? My God.
Yeah, he's. I really liked watching him play too, but
Played for us. Played one Super Bowl with us alongside Darrell Reeves. That Revis sign. That was so weird, dude. We had Revis for a year. Played good for us. It made no sense.
and then just went back to the Jets.
Like, thanks for the ring,
I always
though.
forget that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, same.
And then Malcolm Butler was the one to win the Super Bowl when they had Reeves and Browner,
Browner was the reason.
where he was hurt. Yeah.
No, I think Browner was the reason we
or
won
he
because
was-
he was the one who taught Malcolm Butler how to defend that play in practice.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously Malcolm Butler made the
History
play, but
buff.
well, I mean, that's like a very documented thing amongst Patriots fans, at least. Like, there's video of us in practice of Malcolm Butler continuously getting
Yeah, I've
beat on
seen
that play with Brandon Browner being the opposite, the corner next to him. So Brandon Browner was teaching him in the film room and on the field, hey, instead of that, cut in, because he was like playing, he wasn't playing physical enough on that play in practice.
I was going to say there's a similar story with the other clip on our intro, the James Harrison, well, not the same game, not same play, but the James Harrison 100-yard pick six in Super Bowl 43. In practice, the team was not running back whenever they intercepted a pass. They would just kind of pick off the pass and yeah. So Tomlin got onto him about having the whole defense run down the field and block on returns, and that's
Look how that worked
why
out for-
Harrison was able to go. Yeah.
All right, do you want to
Sherman,
continue
though.
with your?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
So Richard Sherman was the only cornerback from 2006 to 2021 with 4 90-plus PFF grade seasons. He did that in 3 straight years from 2012 to 2014, and he also did it in 2019 with the 49ers. There's only 2 cornerbacks who ever did it 3 times. That's Darrell Revis and Chris Harris. And only 3 other corners did it twice. Antoine Winfield Sr., Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, and Casey Hayward.
Sorry.
Richard Sherman's 2012 season, I feel like gets underrated because he didn't even make the Pro Bowl, which is absurd because it's probably the biggest Pro Bowl snub of all time. He had 8 interceptions, 125 yards, and a touchdown. He deflected 24 passes. He had 3 forced fumbles, a 92.6 PFF grade, gave up 46.5% completion percentage and a 40.5 passer rating, and that's one of just 17 cornerback seasons with a 20-plus approximate value per Pro Football Reference, which compiles basically every meaningful stat into one. And only one of those other 17 corners didn't make the Pro Bowl, and that was Herb Adderley in 1962. So it's the rare first-team All-Pro but non-Pro Bowl season, especially in this age. Richard Sherman is also one of just 17 corners with 3+ first-team All-Pros, and only Herb Adderley, Willie Brown, Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, and Darrell Revis have more. So he has more than Hall of Famers like Mel Blount, Mike Haynes, Lombardi, Night Train Lane, Ty Law, Darrell Green. And then focusing just on the decade 2010 to 2019, Richard Sherman had the lowest completion percentage allowed by a corner, which was just better than Darrell Revis and Antonio Cromartie, and about 12 points better than the league average. And since 2010, only the JMTD show's favorite player, Nnamdi Asomugha, was targeted less often or allowed a catch.
Want to know what's
frequently.
funny? I just pulled up Twitter, right? And I saw
Yeah.
your tweet on our account about Nnamdi Asomugha, where it says, "We here at the Jam Touchdown Show put respect on Nnamdi Asomugha's name at all times." I see how to spell it. That is a horrific way to spell a name. I was not wrong.
It makes a lot more sense than the way you spelled it.
Obviously, but it's
I was
difficult.
joking. I was joking.
No, I was joking about him being better. Not the
Anyway,
spelling. The spelling was not a joke.
There was an argument for a bit, but Asamoah was great, but he did benefit from terrible corners opposite him, drawing a lot of the targets. They had like Fabian Washington, Chris Johnson, Chris Carr, Stanford Routt, even D'Angelo Hall for a minute. But Sherman did not have that luxury. Everybody was good, so the fact that he was able to do that speaks volumes. Richard Sherman also had the lowest passer rating allowed in the decade. It was 54.0, and only 4 corners allowed lower than a 70. And I wanted to say the way people treated Sherman in regards to being a zone corner is just weird, especially when it comes to people who clearly aren't breaking down like the All-22 film every week. It was just a repeated talking point that just got beaten into the ground. Really, there's a lot of blurred lines between man and zone corners are still responsible for the outside man when he goes deep most of the time. So it's not always, he's just covering this one little zone. And I read an interview where Sherman made a great point, how we don't talk about offensive line the same way we do corners. Say you have a great pass rusher on the right side, nobody says that you should just move the left tackle to the right side to track him. You just let him continue dominating his side and send help the other way. Otherwise, you'd end up screwing with the team's chemistry and continuity of the unit as a whole. And whole tracking thing is overblown, especially in today's age, because no corner last year played even 50% of the snaps in pure man coverage. A lot of it's just all blending together. And for Sherman's time, most of it, he played zone, but in systems that rolled the help away from him. So he was really kind of playing a lot of man out there on, dare I say, an island, even though it was technically zone because they rolled the help away. So I think he just gets a bad rap because of his mouth, really. And Joe, this is your cue.
Hey.
How's it going? Did you learn a lot of fun facts?
Yeah. I mean, I already knew Rich Sherman was good, and I like that offensive line quote.
I like how I spend a lot of time spouting all these stats and stuff. It's like, yeah, Richard Sherman, good. Thanks for...
Well, I found a funny tweet. You want me to read it?
Let's hear it.
It's
Who's
a very
from?
bad tweet. What's the difference between... Do you listen to Kanye or Drake?
I mean, I'm not like an avid listener.
Yeah, okay, well, what's the difference between Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks and Drake's new album, Honestly Nevermind? And there's no similarities. Everything is different, but... Because Drake's album is terrible, 808s and Heartbreak is a very good album, but... yeah.
That was your entertainment corner of the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, no. That's how it is. And, well, I mean, you listed too many stats for me to, like, listen to all of them, you know what I'm saying?
We've already established you're not a numbers guy, so...
I mean, like, when I, like, have to do, like, analytical stuff, I am. But, like, you know.
It's not the greatest on audio form.
Yeah. And I'm more of an opinion person, as we've gone over. Like, I just like to voice my opinion, my voice. Voice
Aaron
my
Donald,
voice.
good.
Aaron Donald, good. Cameron Hayward, good. Christian Barmore, good.
Tom Brady, bad.
Tom Brady, great.
But not greatest.
All right. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Rich Sherman. I loved watching him. Honestly. I mean, I had moments where I didn't like him because, like you were saying earlier, like I was like, oh, he's like too outspoken and all that. It's like I agree at some points, but him on a television network, it's gonna be great. But as a player, Hall of Famer, obviously, no debate.